And the other day when I met Karen, who is the 5-year-old girl I found labouring in a quarry with her grandmother, I said something in a video afterwards. I got very angry when I recorded a video and I decided not to upload it. If you want to see it, maybe I will, let me know in the comments. But I decided not to because I thought I was just being a bit harsh at the world. I was angry about the situation. I'm human. It's a very powerful and upsetting experience to find an innocent child labouring like that. But I said something which rings true, and it's absolutely true. Because men and women on this planet are behaving like children, because they are not maturing, because they are not doing anything constructive and productive, because they are not seeing the needs of the innocent who can't protect themselves, who can't care for themselves, such as children who are locked in poverty, etc. Because the men and women behave as children, the children must be men and women before their time. And it's not just and it's not fair. And if men would be men and women would be women, then children all over the world who are having to be men and women could be children. But they can't be, because there's no one there to prop them up. But there's an army of able-bodied young men and women all over the planet every weekend propping up bars instead of propping up those children. And I see potential in each and every one. I don't say this to look down at people who are doing that. I say it as someone who's been there, and I say it to say you can be way more fulfilled living a life of service, pursuing God, pursuing self-discipline. You will be far more fulfilled doing that and propping up the needs of the vulnerable, or whatever God asks of you, than you ever will propping up that bar and propping up friendships which are based around substance, which are ultimately based around nothing. And it boils down to that I see the potential in these young men and these young women, and I see it in them, and they have a burning and a yearning to do something, to make a difference, but they don't even know what that means. But you only need to make a difference to one person a week, a month, a day, ideally. And that makes a difference to the whole of the world. And each time you make a difference to a person or a child like that, you create the foundations for a new generation of humanity, so that the planet that we call home will raise a new generation of human beings, so our children can move forward into a world that we want to see. Not a world where people are numbing out, watching TV and playing games and getting drunk right up until adulthood. I mean, when does it cease? Are we really going to have old age pensioners getting drunk and playing PlayStation? If they don't sever the addiction, it's looking that way. It's strange. I don't feel it should be. I don't feel it should be. I'd rather we have a generation of elderly in the years to come from my generation who have some wisdom to impart upon the youth. But if they carry on living that way, drinking, playing games, they won't have any experience to have any wisdom, to have any knowledge to impart upon anybody. They'll have conversations of remember this, remember that. And this is perhaps a shame for humanity as an outlook for the future. And if I, a man who was once broken and beaten inside this system, to the very degree broken and beaten, because I had no child to raise, I had no family, as many do, and it gives you purpose, and that's fine. I'm not talking to you guys. but the singles out there who are attacking substance, trying to find something, feeling empty as they do. If I can go from one day wanting so much to be not myself, feeling so downtrodden that I was just unable to pull myself up out of the depression, etc., and I can do everything I've done with God, then all of those young people in this country can do the same. But I didn't stand a chance at doing it until I started to become disciplined. And the discipline is key. Because with the discipline comes the ability for men to mature. I'm from a part of England, and many others are the same, where young men think that the tough guys are the hard men who prop up the bars for a while in your life, and as you get older you realise how silly it is. And then as you get older you start to ask, what is a warrior? Is it really someone who can just start a punch up? Because anybody can do this. And the truth of the matter is that these things are an easy way out for young men to try and express something in them. To try and express something in them which is a want. And I use this term very gently, to be a man, not to be a woman. Now you should never walk around saying be a man, because defining it's a difficult thing. But in the realms of maturity and self-control, what I mean is to be a man and not to indulge in the immature aspects of ourselves. To be a man and know that when you have children you're not going to be a man who's addicted to gambling, addicted to pornography and all of these other vices, alcohol, that you're going to impart upon your children. And that is just how I perceive the best way to be a man or a woman. But mindless entertainment and wasting our time is a pursuit of a child in my eyes. And as I said, if men would just be men and women would just be women, then children like Karen would be able to just be a child. But because men and women are behaving like children in certain parts of the world, not through any fault of their own perhaps, just by being lost, because I've been there myself, I know. Then children like Karen have to do the work of a man or a woman. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be. 6 years ago, I used to park my car in a car park not far from here and smoke weed and wonder what the hell my life was about. It will sound familiar to many young men and women, I'm sure. 6 years ago, if you told me I'd build a village for special needs children and children without parents, I'd become the guardian of 70 children, and I'd open a centre for boys who desperately needed it, who had been homeless and on drugs from the age of 11, like heroin. They told me I'd rescue over 100, hundreds of dogs up to now. That I'd build an NGO with more than 40 staff. I'd say as humbly as I can that I made an impact on the world purely because I was lucky enough that God made way in my life and showed me the way to do so. And not a huge impact. You know, there's a lady, Katie Davis, said that it feels like you're trying to empty an ocean with an eyedropper doing work in East Africa. And just as you get it a cup out, another downpour of rain comes, and that's what it's like. So it's not a massive impact. But for me, for the man I was 6 years ago, sitting in a car by myself, to tell him he would have done those things, he wouldn't have believed it. But I did. And I'm just the same as you are if you're listening to me now and you have those same feelings I'm referring to. And I only did it because I had God. I only did it because I humbled myself, disciplined myself, turned my back on immorality to face the path of virtue. And I'm not perfect, I'm not virtuous all the time, but at least I turned to walk on that path, even if I stumble, trip and fall from time to time. And while I'm here in the West, all I'd like to say is to all of you out there who want to make a difference in the world, be it here in Europe, be it in the continent of Africa, South America, the East, wherever it is, it's all one in the same. That it might seem impossible at first, if you're just a person who's stuck sitting in a car park smoking a joint, to even comprehend that you will do it. But if you set your heart and your intention to be with God, on the path of that which we perceive as virtuous, the path of righteousness, as it's said in Christianity, God will carry you and lift you. And He'll take you to places you can't even believe. And He'll make things happen in your life you couldn't have even imagined. And He might not bless you with the Porsche or the Ferrari and all the things that you might have wanted when you were a kid. But He'll bless you with all that matters. He'll bless you with peace of mind. In my instance, a loving wife. Beautiful family, albeit a very large and unorthodox one. But men must be men, women must be women. Because then the children get a chance to be children. And we get a chance to live with purpose. Instead of feeling isolated and confused inside a system which has many wonderful aspects, but really doesn't seem to work so well for single people when the whole of the culture is based around substance use. Or earning money to escape to use substance in another country. This is not our highest good. It's not our best version of ourselves. But can change. We've just got to fast, pray, meditate, become a better man. That's what's on my mind today. Love and light, guys. Bye.
Only to find love undefined, and I'm okay with that, 'cause I'm gonna be a guardian. Be a man among men, be a guardian. Be a man among men, or be a woman among women. Be a guardian, be my friend. Same crazy, be my friend.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, as it really helps us to grow the channel and with it help more children here in Tanzania. Also, don't forget you can support our work by sharing with children in crisis here, be it sharing for a particular need or even sharing one-on-one support for education, housing, food and medical care. It can be done for as little as the cost of a cup of coffee a week back in the West after all. Just visit www.sharetanzania.co.uk to find out more. Lastly, remember you can also support us via Patreon, www.patreon.com/featherstail, and help keep us here in Tanzania to continue our work. The links for the website and for the Patreon are in the description box of this video. Love and light, guys. See you soon.